Hi, this is Mr. Haig, and today I'm going to be teaching you monoprinting. Now, monoprinting basically means one-off prints, and I'm going to first of all go through the equipment. Now, I have a roller here which we're going to need to roll out the ink. This is the ink we have here. Let me just mention a little something about this ink. As you can see, there's only a tiny amount of ink there. That's all we need. Printing ink, which is what I've used, which you'll need to use, is specifically for obviously printing, and it goes a long way. So when I start rolling it out, it's going to actually spread and go a long way over the sheet, but I'll show you that in a second. We also have the image of the butterfly here, which I'm going to produce a monoprint of, and I'll explain that shortly as well. So let's get started. We have our roller here, top tip as well. Don't ever put your roller like that, because that's where the ink's going to be. They are designed so you can put them this way around and the ink will not get on the table. We have a plastic sheet here and the ink, so we need to start rolling. So here goes. So start going in one direction here, which is vertical, and then we can go across to try and spread out. The ink is quite glossy, and you don't actually want the ink to remain glossy because there'll be too much of it. You want it to go a matte or a dull colour, and you can start to see that happening now. It's starting to go a little bit dull. We've got patches here. We don't want patches, so we need to make sure it's evenly spread out. As you can see, that was a tiny amount of ink that has gone a long way. And I think we're more or less there now. Okay, so that looks about right for me. And then what we need to do is just to take off a little excess ink. So I've got some normal paper here, which I'm just going to press down, and we'll do a little test. So we just rub that here, and that's going to take off any excess ink. So if I just show you, if I peel that, okay, there's not a lot of ink. I think I've pretty much got that about right. And you can test to see whether it's the right amount of ink by using your pencil and drawing. I'm just doing a squiggly line here. You can draw whatever you want, and hopefully that should come through. Brilliant. Okay, so that's about right. If you've got too much ink, that line will bleed, so it will start to spread, and it doesn't give you that accurate printing technique. Alright, so I'm happy with the amount of ink on there, so I'm going to move that to the side. Be careful with the ink as well, because if it goes on your clothes or goes on tables, it's going to be really hard to get out. So I'm going to not use the paper I've just used previously. I'm going to use cartridge paper, which is a higher quality paper. And as you can see here, I've got a couple of sheets. However, I've set up ready for my image. So we go back to the butterfly. I've put a little bit of masking tape onto our sheet here, as you can see, with the image on the top. So I've got my image on the top, cartridge paper below that, and I've securely fastened that with the masking tape. I'm going to place that onto centre here, and just to help secure it a little bit, I'm actually going to add a little bit of masking tape to the top there so that it doesn't move, because obviously if it moves, then we're not going to have the accurate image that we want, because the lines will not be consistent and accurate. Okay, so let's try this out. What you want to do is you want to avoid putting your hand onto the printing area, because the ink will come through onto the paper. So you sometimes have to sort of almost put your hand levitating over the top. So let's try this out. Now I'm hoping that I get quite a thin line here. So we can lift up, and as we can see, we've got a consistent line there, and that's thin, that's perfect. And the good news is, because I've put the masking tape on there, I can keep on checking and looking to see whether it's accurate and go back. We can flip over anytime we're kind of worried or we just want to check the progress of our print. So you can continue to do your outline, and then you can add some detail. Now I haven't got time to show the entire piece here. I won't be able to get an entire outcome, but I will just demonstrate a couple of samples and techniques. So I've just filled in some additional details in there, so hopefully that'll come through there where you can see. Alright, starting to get a bit of detail. Loads of different techniques to get different mark making and texture. You can use the other end of the pencil, like so, and that gives you tone or shading. I'm hoping. Let's have a look. Brilliant, there you go. So you've got a natural bit of shading there just from using the dull end, you know, the flat end of your pencil. You could do some cross hatching. So if I was just to draw this shape out here, and then I could, if I wanted to, using the pencil, just start to do a little bit of cross hatching. So let's see how that's come out. Yep, very good. And also you could even experiment using your finger. So you might want to just press down with your little finger. You won't be as accurate doing this, but you can see you get a really nice soft area of tone there, and you can start to see the three techniques. So the back of the pen, the line is using the sharp end of the pencil, and then we've got the cross hatching as well there. With anything like printing, it's all about experimenting and giving yourself an opportunity to try new things out. I'm always trying different ways and different techniques and just seeing what works. You can keep on repeating the process time and time again until you're happy with your end outcome. Okay, that's monoprinting. Thank you. Bye.